Tottenham versus Ajax. What a game. Once again, coming off of yesterday, this is what it's all about. Ajax clearly was playing the better ball in the first game, the first leg. They won 1-0, got an away goal. They come into the next game. Ajax is controlling the first half, right? So they're doing their thing. They score literally in the first 5 minutes. De Ligt actually scored a goal. Boom. Momentum's going. Then the game keeps playing. Ajax scores in the 35th minute. Boom. Now you're looking at a 3-0 aggregate to go into halftime. And this is where it went wrong. And this is the same thing Barcelona did. You go out of your normal pattern. You go out of your normal free-flowing forward, offensive, attacking play. And you decide that you have a lead. So you're going to concede possession and you're going to try to play more defensively. Get yourself out of your tactics. Make everything uncomfortable for yourselves without thinking. And Lucas Moura coming through in the clutch. Another game where the star player is not the person who brings it over the line. Lucas Moura scores a hat trick. Literally, the guy who would not stop. The guy who's having the best night of his life right now. Scored in the 55th minute, 59th minute, in the 6th minute in extra time. But this really goes, Ajax, they played the better ball until they didn't. There was a lot of opportunities on both sides. Matter of fact, Ajax had 16 shots, only 4 on goal, and that's because they were getting opportunities. They were a threat. But once they got that 3-0 aggregate lead, they kind of put their foot off the metal. They had holes in the middle of the field. They kept more people back, and then they had 3 to 4 people attacking, but there was a huge gap between the defense and the attacking 3 or 4. So you got this hole where whenever their shot was not successful, whenever Ajax was unable to score, and they did have some solid opportunities, the transition game was able to build up speed. Tottenham was able to build up speed because they had gaps of 20 and 30 yards in between where they had time to open up, to find their position, to get their attacking plays, and always put Tottenham in extreme pressure. But really, this really goes to show that this whole going into a defensive formation, if that's not your style, it's catastrophic to your opportunities of winning. Tottenham came out at that halftime and put it all on the line. They went out, they said, well, we're gonna need 3 goals to win. And they did it. They did it. They had an aerial attack, they had a ground attack. Yes, some of it was sloppy. Some of it was all over the place, but they were being dogs, and that's how you win. You gotta be a dog. You gotta go out there and you fight. And Ajax is a beautifully played team. A lot of youngsters, the coach, they decided to play defensive. They decided to sit back, and they got pounded, and that's why they lost. And Tottenham had nothing to lose, so they said, screw it. We're just gonna go out and attack. Lucas Moura said, I don't care if these guys, I don't care if Dele Alli can't score. I don't care if Son's not making it. I'm gonna scrap it in and win. Ajax is putting a lot more pressure on the star players and left Lucas Moura, the point man, the striker, open to be able to just clean it up. Both teams played great. The game ended in a 3-3 tie, but that hat trick by Lucas Moura, that's what put him over the line. And as frustrating as this may be to the team who loses, you gotta understand, for the last 2 days, the moral of the story is, do not sit back on your laurels. Do not sit back and feel comfortable. Never feel comfortable. Because somebody always wants it. And if they want it more than you, and you think you can just sit back, relax, and try to hold on to the lead and waste time, you're gonna get socked in the mouth. Tottenham, proud of you. So now you've got a Champions League final. 2 teams that dug it from behind. Literally. Last night, Barcelona had a 3-0 aggregate lead. Liverpool dug from below a 3-goal deficit to win 4-3. What happened today? Another miracle? By halftime, Tottenham Spurs were down 3 goals at aggregate and ended up winning by away goals. So don't sit there at halftime and say, I'm going to sit back, change my formation to a 4-4-2. I'm going to change my formation to a heavy defense with the extra center defensive backs. Don't do that, because when they attack you and you leave a hole in the middle, if your middle third of the field is empty, you're going to get pounded, and these type of things happen. Great game. It ended up being, for a possession-happy team like Ajax, Tottenham actually ended up having 60% of the possession with 24 shots on goal, 7 on target. If you're going to leave, if you're going to sit back and park the bus, if you're going to sit back and do a defensive strategy and not keep the other team worrying on the other side, they're going to have a lot more. It's a shooting range. It's a shooting range. Tottenham Spurs, great job. Ajax, you performed great in this tournament. You did great. I know this is devastating to lose in the very last second of the game. Great job. Listen, you put it all on the line. It's nice to see it sometimes that it all pays off. If you put it all on the line and you don't try to hold off, you win. And for those teams who think it's okay to park the bus because you have a 3-0 deficit, I guess you're going to have to think differently about that next year.